Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another general vlog video. Today, I lied to you. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. I'm not going to worry about it. You can see down here, and that's the most important thing. I lied to you. Just a few minutes ago, I was doing a video out in the shed and said I was going to clean up out there and stuff, but you know what? It started storming, and 90% of cleaning up in that is cleaning out. And it all has to go to storage, and I can't load things in the back of my truck with it pouring down rain because it can't get wet and blah blah blah. So I decided I needed to come in and work on this estimate, and I kind of thought I would walk you through what I do to do all that. So first off, normally I don't do this at my kitchen table. I have my last room that I finished, which is kind of a spare bedroom / office / where I do my videos, uploading and stuff. But with the storm on its way here, I'm sitting here and I've got the kitchen window open. I've got a nice breeze blowing through. I can hear the thunder and lightning. Well, honestly, I'm not that smart. I can hear the thunder. I can't hear the lightning, but I can actually see it. So I don't know, it's just I can smell the fresh rain, I can smell the lake, and I just decided to do it up here. So this past weekend I got a phone call, a business phone call, that makes me have to kind of sit down and do a pre-estimate. Not free, F-R-E-E, which I do, all my estimates are free, but a P-R-E. So I can just kind of throw some numbers at the gentleman. It's something that I don't do a lot of. I do maybe 7 or 8 of them a year. I don't do enough of them to justify knowing every day what the prices are. So I'll show you how I work around that. So anyways, he called and he wants a 9x12 deck. He lives in a camper. Well, he didn't live there. It's a summer place. We live on a lake. There's a lot of summer places up here. They vacation up here on the weekends or once a month, twice a year, whatever they do. So he was pretty adamant about the whole, wow, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's actually water dripping in here onto that, which is next on my thing. I have to redo the outside of the windows. I didn't do them, somebody else did. But anyways, he was pretty adamant on the size. So there's probably a reason why. I'm going to say he's able to go 20 foot long. Maybe his camper is a 19 footer. Maybe it's a 22 footer. There's a reason why he said those sizes. Maybe he's not allowed to go out past 9 foot. And maybe he wants it 8 foot wide and 20 foot long. I don't know. But I kind of assume that he's going to want it 9 foot out and 20 foot long. Or I'm sorry, 12 foot. A 9x12. So let me write that down on my paper. Oh, and it's everything in there getting wet. A 9x12. A 9x12. Well, the wind is really blowing this way, really bad. Friend of mine east of me, about 50 miles. She said that it's running this way. There's been 2 tornado warnings, 1 tornado spotting, and it's really bad. They lost power and everything. So we'll see what happens to us. Anyways, back to the deck. It's a 9x12. I assume that he's going to want it 12 foot the length of the camper and 9 foot out. There's probably a reason why he wants that size. If I can talk him into it. Oh, they just hollered tornado warning. Let me stop the camera. Hold on, they're going around telling tornado warning. All right, I'm going to leave you guys in here. We'll finish this up here in a little bit if we're able to. I don't know if you can hear that. They're going around hollering tornado warning. So we need to go to the tornado shelter. So hopefully everything works out all right, and we'll come back if it does. Okay, we are back. That was a little bit of drama. Run down that real quick and then we'll continue on what we were doing. Basically sitting here, I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but was sitting here showing you guys how I do my estimates, and then all of a sudden the police or the manager or somebody was running around hollering, tornado warning, go to the shelter, go to the shelter. So fortunately the shelter is, from this wall right here, is about 10 steps that way. So it's not that bad for me. And I had some things to do. I wanted to grab my wallet, and I wanted to make sure that, I moved my truck, because my truck parks just right out here. And there's a big tree above it, and I didn't want it falling, crushing my truck. If it fell, crushed my trailer and the truck, then I'm double screwed. So anyways, I moved that, and I'm going to leave it there. I guess we're under warning until about 1. Everybody seemed to just kind of scatter from down there now, because it's all calmed down. I've got the window shut right now. Earlier you see the wind was blowing the rain in, but there's still a few people walking around and stuff, and they don't understand a guy standing here talking to a camera that they can't see. So anyways, back to the estimate. We didn't get a tornado, but we're still under the warnings or watches or whatever until like 1 o'clock. And we've got a big siren that goes off and the whole 9 yards. So back to the 9x12 deck. I'm not sure why he's adamant on that size. Normally, if they want, I try to get them to go like a 12x12, 10x12, but I would assume that he's wanting it kind of like this table, 12 foot long and 9 foot out, which I know 5 1/4 board, which is what they call a deck board, it's a 5 1/4 board, is anywhere from 5 1/4 to 5.5 inches. But by the time you add a little bit of, I always just drop a 16 penny nail, and that's how I space them. But they say like 3/8 of an inch. It comes out to two boards make 11 inches. So I know that, 10 of those will, well, for one, let's go with, it's 108 inches is 9 foot. So 10 by 11, which would be 11 boards, would be 2 per 11. So anyways, I need about 20 to 22 boards. So that's the first thing that we'll look at is I need, let's just say 22. And you go to your little Lowe's app on your phone, which is the best thing in the world. You just can't ask for anything easier than this. Normally, I was on it earlier, so normally this is what it's going to look like. You're going to hit your Lowe's app. You're going to come up search. And wow, now it's, I hit the wrong button. That's why it was doing it. You hit search, and you go for, first off, we need 5 1/4 deck boards. So deck boards, just type in what you're looking for. And we don't want composite. We don't want anything of that nature. Those, just keep scrolling down till you find what you want. And there's the 1x6 actual size. That's what they call 5 1/4 board. And it's $8.27. So you figure $8.27 is the price. And I'll put that out here, $8.27. And we know that we need 20 of them. Well, we're going to say, let's just go with 22 just to cover our butt. Now this is going to be for the deck only, no steps, no nothing. We'll take it one step at a time. So now I'm going to log on to my computer here and go to my calculator, and now we can go, we know we need 22. We know that they're $8.27 a piece. So we'll go 8.27 times 22 equals $181.94. So out to the side, $181.94 for the boards. And I'm just going to put down that these are 5 1/4 boards because that's what we call them. And these prices, the reason I use Lowe's app so much, these prices fluctuate daily. I mean, I have actually seen them fluctuate, and I have honestly seen this. I have seen them fluctuate from the morning till the evening. It doesn't happen often. I think I've only seen that one time. But week by week, day by day, they can change. And unfortunately, they don't go down a lot, they go up. So if I say last year that this board was 537, or no, I'm sorry, 737 a board, and now it's 827. So if I did my estimate at the old price, I'm going to lose money, or I'm not going to make as much money as I should. So there you have that. Okay, so now we need to build a frame. We know we're going to go 12 foot. We know we're going to go 9 foot out. So in a 9 foot span, you just take your tape measure and you figure 1 on the edge, because it's going to be 9 foot out this way. So we're going to kind of pretend that this is 9 foot out. I don't even know if you can even see that. So we'll do it over here, like this is the 9 foot out. So you're going to need 1 on the edge, and then you count your red marks. Red marks on this tape measure is 16 inch, every 16 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 puts us about 4 inches past 9 foot, but we're still going to have that one. So there's 8 boards that we're going to have. So now we're going to need a total of 8 2x6x12s, unless they recommend or they want 2x8s. But I'm going to do 2x6, you know, just to get a kind of a rough estimate. And you just type that in, 2x, and it auto-completed 2x6x12. And we do want treated, so we do want the severe weather. So they are $9.77 a piece. $9.77 a piece. And these are 2x6x12s. And we know that we need 8 of them. So once again, we'll go back to our computer that I need to get rid of that stupid screensaver. So now we're going to clear this one out. And we're going to go 9.77 times 8, and that's going to bring us to 7816. So now you can kind of see that, you know, we're going to end up with a lot of material in this job, and we'll get to that. And this isn't just telling you how to do it. Excuse me, I'm going to turn around and get some water in my bottle here. Oops, if I don't make a mess. All right. And no, my water's not brown. That's actually my water cooler. It's just there was a little bit of Pepsi left in the bottom of it. So, all right. Now we have to run at least our 2 ends. And might as well just do, instead of doing a bunch of prices that aren't true, we're just going to, since it's real easy to do, 2x6x10. And we will hit search. And we want treated, $7.98. Why are they more? Did I get the wrong price? Please hold. $9.77, and that is a 2x6x12. $9.77. Okay, no, I guess I wasn't thinking. So they're $7.98 a piece, and I'm gonna go ahead, even though it's just 2 of them, I'm gonna go ahead and mark it down on my list. And we know that these are 2x6x10s. And So once again, you go, and I know I can do all this in my head, but then you guys are going to question me, and okay, quite honestly, I would just go 8 and 8, $16 is what I would put. But then you guys are going to say, well, it's not quite that much. So 798 times 2 equals 1596. Now, that is the basis of your deck, correct? No. Because now you need, excuse me, screws. So your deck board, you're fine with 1 5/8 screws. I buy 2-inch screws. That's just what I do. It's what I've always done. 2-inch screws are kind of universal for me. So you're going to need 2-inch screws or 1 5/8. So I'm going to go deck screws. And we'll just kind of look at and see what. These are small boxes. So there's the small box, which you got to figure when we're building the frame into the 4x4s, which we got a price here in a minute too. You're not really going to use more than a small box. So I'm going, and I don't want to overcharge them. That is not what I'm here to do. I don't want to charge them for a big, expensive box if all I'm going to use is a small box. This is how I stay in business. I don't rape the people on the prices. Now, is there going to be a handful of them, yes, or left? Yes. Am I going to walk up and hand them to them? No, I'm not. But there's no sense in what everybody will say, even a small job, charge a large box. You make more money. Well, you buy that large box, so you're not really making the money. It just, I don't know. I don't operate that way. I do everything as honest and upfront as I possibly can. So a small box of these are $8.98. And these are my 3-inch screws. And they are the star bit. And they're grip rights or whatever you want to call them. So I know that that's $8.98 and $8.98. And then a small box of, there's 2.5 inch. Now we're into the large boxes. 2.5 inch, so just keep going down. There's 1 5/8. And that's probably fine. So I'm just going to do it for 1 5/8. And once again, that's $8.98. And those are 1 5/8 screws. And that's what they come to. Okay, so now we got to do 4x4s. You got to have legs on it. With it being 12 foot long, 9 foot wide, you can't just go every four. Go one on every corner. So what I would do is split that. I build everything to last. So I'm going to do, and we don't know how high the camper is off the ground either. Normally it's going to roughly be around 2 foot, give or take. So always figure 3 legs out of 1 board. So if I have it shaped just like this table, I know I need 1, 2, 3, 4. That's already over 1 board. So I've got 4 there, and then I'm going to put at least 1 in the center. But now I got to figure that's going to leave me a 6 foot gap. 6 foot can bow, so I'm going to do 2. So I've got my 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to want about 12 feet out of them. So like I said, you get 3. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I need at least 4 of them. So let's go back to our Lowe's app. I know this probably isn't making a whole lot of sense to you guys, but this is just the way that I do it. 4 by 4 by 8. And we do want pressure treated because it is going to either touch the ground or concrete. And it looks like they are 947. And how many did I say I needed? I wanted 4 of them. So I'm going to put down here my quantity. And these are 4 by 4 by 8s. And they are 947 each. So once again, we're going to click on this, and we're going to clear it out, and we're going to go 947 times 4 equals 3788. So now we have our deck built. Now that is just the platform. That is going to be, we're going to use this table as an example. That's going to be something longer than it is wider. It's going to be 12 foot long, 9 foot wide. That will include our 5 1/4 deck boards on top, our frame on the bottom, our 4 legs, if they just go to the ground, which may be what they require at that park. I do not know. Each park and each township is different. Now it is on the other side of the lake, so it is a different township. I will have to ask him, and ask if he doesn't know, I'll ask the park manager or park owner, whoever's there. You do have to get a permit for this, but since it is floating, that park may not require a permit, which basically the state or county would, but the park says, we have the authority that you don't have to, because it's movable. They can just pick it right up and take it with them when they leave. So that's kind of a gray area there. But normally I'll call the inspector and just ask him. How it is in a mobile home park is if it is setting on concrete slab, you're not allowed to attach it to the mobile home, but you have to get a permit. If it is setting on a ground, on earth, on even gravel or dirt or grass or mud or whatever, you do not have to have a permit in most mobile home parks. That is here. That is in my township, not surrounding townships. So these are all things that you got to know. Over there, it basically, even if the state says, okay, you have to have, or you don't have to have one, that park itself may require you to get one. So you have to go by the park rules, which he'll have a list of those rules when I get over there. So, but anyways, that's all besides the point. And we're also going to do, and I'll show you this real quick. We'll just kind of add this in there, but I won't add it in the total. On the first total, I'll add it on the second total. And that would be concrete. Wow, can I not spell? Not concrete. Concrete. What in the world? How did I mess up that bad? C-R-E-T-E. I know how to spell it. Okay, concrete deck blocks. And those are $7.90 a piece, if you can use them. Now, normally from the ground up is normally 7 inches. Now, if you've got 2 foot to the top, you got to allow a little bit down below a door. So normally you can use these, but the legs will be really, really, really short. And I can probably take 1 4x4 off of the list. Maybe even 2. It all depends on what the customer wants. But I'm going to put them down. And I'm just going to kind of make myself a note down here at the bottom. And I just call them deck blocks. And I know that they are $7.90 a piece. And I don't know if you remember, but we needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We needed 12 of them. So that's going to be kind of pricey. So just to kind of show you, and there's other ways we can do it. We can put it on flat blocks laying on the ground. It is temporary. These people are not here in the winter. You're not allowed to stay in the parks around here in the wintertime in a camper. So as the ground freezes and the deck goes a little unlevel, you're not going to be here to even know that. So, I mean, we can set it straight on the ground. I don't personally like to do that, but some parks require that that's all you can do. So this is just to kind of give me an up when I go there if he says, oh, that's what I want, and they will allow it. So you want to go $790 times 12 equals, see, that's almost another $100. So I'll mark that 94.80 over here, and or 94 and 8 cents. Yeah, 94 and 8 cents. I'm sorry. I mean, that's, you don't really need it. I mean, just to be quite frankly honest with you. But some people use walk blocks. It all depends on what their park allows. So now that we go back from there, now let's just real quick, once again, we don't know the height. So let's go with deck, steps. Normally I just buy runners, and that's what's popping up. Let's see, there's a 4-step. Probably I'm going to need a 3-step. So they're $9.98. I use 3. It depending on how wide. I mean, I've had people that would want the whole 12-foot to be steps. I've had people that, well, you know, law requires it to be 3 foot. I want 6 foot. Or I only want 2, which I have to stay within the law. And there's other people in that park that's going to look at this, and they're going to say, well, he didn't do it right, so I wouldn't hire him. So anyways, I have my standards that I go by too. So we're going to do 3. And I just call these here stringers. And they are $9.98 a piece. And yes, I would just do $30. But since I'm trying to show you guys how to do this correctly, $9.98 times 3 equals $29.94. Now, excuse me for just 1 second. I have no way to tell if my camera is still working, and it is. Okay, so this is the gray area. This is where a lot of people want you to use like a 2x6 for the steps, which is what I like to use. But we're going to go with it with a let's see what they require, if I can find it on here. I don't know what the depth of these are. Reviews and specs. Cut with, let's see, the wood, which is intended to cut 6.5-inch rise, 10-inch tread. Okay, now this has a 10-inch tread. So we know a 2x12 is 11.5. Anyways, it's 11.5. Which, even if we have to rip them down, I like to leave a little bit of lip on it. So a 2x12 by 10, 3, 6, 9, yeah. So now I want to go back to Lowe's. I was already there, wasn't I? Dumb butt. 2 by 12 by 8 is, we only need 1. 2 by 12 by 8 southern. Oh, nope, it's got to be treated. That's actually, okay. Let's go back by 2 by 12 treated. All right, there we go. 2 by 12. Don't look like they offer an 8-foot in that. Nope, they do not. So it's going to have to be a 10-footer. So $22.98. And I just mark them down as steps. And it's $22.98. All right. So now with all of this information, I have pretty much everything that I need except for what are the steps going to set on. It all depends on what this particular person or particular park. Like I said, this is a pre-estimate. This is going, and I'll show you, let me get all my numbers added up and everything here. So that's what we're going to do now. It is late. It is midnight. I'm still a little not shook up about this whole tornado thing, but my mind keeps looking out there and thinking, well, I'm not seeing any lightning, so my mind's not just exactly on this. So, all right, now let's try to figure out what our total is without the deck blocks. So 181, and I know, yes, I can use my little fancy thing over here, but I don't do that. 94, and by that I mean my new computer has the keypad over here. I've actually started to wear my new computer. I just got this about Christmas time, and I'm already starting to wear the mouse out. I use this a lot because of YouTube. So there's that plus 7816 plus 1596 plus 898 plus 898, that's our screws, 2 boxes, plus, because we need 2 different sizes, plus 3788, 3788 plus 2994 plus 2298. And that equals, and we'll write that down, 384.82. Now this is where we're getting into yet another gray area. What do you charge? Okay, I have a friend of mine that used to work for a big construction outfit here, and he's like 3 times material. So you take material times 3, and that's what. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Times 3 equals $1,154.46. Now, would you pay for that for a flat top, what I call a flat top deck? Because we've not even got into rails or anything yet. Depends on the height of what he wants it, whether it has to have rails or not. I do not know any of this until I get over there. But basically what this is going to do is give me an idea of what I can throw at him before I actually write out a hard estimate, so I don't waste my time. And if you'll just hold on just 1 second. I am so sorry for that interruption. I'm getting a ton of text messages from people worried about me, did you make it or whatever. I was more worried about getting in here and making a video for you guys, which is, I think I looked and we're like 34 minutes into this video. So if anybody is still around on this video, comment down below and tell me, hey, I made it to the deer part, where I'm pointing at my deer. Yes, I know, on my kitchen table I still have my Christmas deer, and I still have my Easter egg basket for the boys, with the fake Easter eggs in it. Which, by the way, we still have a live Easter egg in here, and by that I mean a real boiled Easter egg that we still have never found. No smells, no nothing. It's driving me crazy. Actually, I now know I did smell something kind of funky in my youngest son's room, and I just kind of sprayed Febreze and told him to clean up. That might be where the egg's at. Although it didn't smell like rotten egg, it smelled more like a boy's room. You know, parents understand what I'm talking about. But anyways, so that if you've made it this far, let me know, and comment down below that you made it to the deer part, because I want to personally thank you for sitting around and watching this. This has to be very boring. But there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do these home estimates. This is what gets you in business. This is what makes you live debt-free. This is what makes you break away from the 9 to 5, the living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And I'll explain to you guys what I meant by earlier. You know, a lot of your places will do ×3. A lot of places, well, we'll just do it, round it up to $2,000. And let me get my total, and then I'll explain to you how I do it. Okay, so on top of all of this, we have to cover all expenses. And once again, I don't know if you guys can see my whole head, half head. I forgot to turn it around like I'm supposed to. And anyways, you guys can hear me. You guys can, I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing, my sloppy chicken pecking. So, okay, from here to the other side of the lake where he's located at is going to there and back to give him an estimate is going to cost me about $10 in gas. I know it's a free estimate, but if he gets the job, that will be added into the bill. In gas supplies. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to do that once to give him an estimate. Then say I get the job, which is why we're doing the estimate. From here over there, even with a loaded truck of materials, it's still going to be, and back, it's still going to be about $10. So now we're up to $20. But then, and there's another text, people worrying. And then I have to go from here to Lowe's and back, which is about another $20. So I'm going to add $40 on for gas. This is how I do it. If it's right, I don't care. If it's wrong, I don't care. It's the way I do it. It's the way I've been doing it for, 20, 30 years. And I've not had any problems yet. So, sorry, I did have to check that, make sure that wasn't people flipping out because they ain't heard from me. So now we also got to go onto this 384. So let's go back to that. 384. I wish they would stop texting. 82 times 0. I just messed up. Okay. Let me do this on my phone. It's so much easier to do it on my phone than it is here. Let's see, what was it? Oh! I'm about ready to start yelling at people for texting. It's midnight, people. I've already told you I'm okay. I'm looking at here like it's one of you guys watching, and it's not. So, let me clear this out because I'm not paying attention. Okay, so it's just going to roughly be $30 in tax when I go to Lowe's to buy all this. So, $30 in tax on top of all that. And look at this, I'm actually doing old school adding. So it's going to come to about $414.82. We'll round that up to $415. Okay, so now to cover yourself at all times, right now we're going to add our 40 in for gas and delivery and whatever, however you want to word it to yourself. A customer don't normally ask. So we're at $454. Now, oops, I forgot this. Or I get started and all of a sudden, even though I can go right through the ends with my screws, I come to find out that the customer or the park or somebody requires joist hangers, or I decide I want to use joist hangers, or so you got to have an oops fund. And I don't go really stupid and say, okay, I'm going to add $100. I usually round up to the next number, which this is going to require about $45. So I'm going to say, all right, it's going to cost roughly in materials and gas and an oops fund, it's going to roughly cost me out of my pocket $500. So now I know if I get over there at, let's say, 9 o'clock in the morning and I start on this job, I got everything set up, about an hour set up and unloading and everything. It's really going to only take me 4 hours at the most to build this deck. I build them all the time. So in one day, I can finish this deck job. So honestly, what is my labor worth in one day? I have very low overhead. I mean, my office is right back there. Tonight, this is my office. Yeah, wear and tear on my tools and stuff of that nature. But what do I really need to make off this job? So I'm going to say I roughly need to make $500. That is a fair price for my labor. You figure you spend about 8 hours doing it. I am a business owner, and a deck builder is going to charge more labor than I do. So I'm going to roughly go over there with an idea of, excuse me, a 9 by 12 deck with a nice set of steps. No hand railings, no nothing. Well, we might not even need steps. You don't know. But roughly $1,000 is what it's going to cost this gentleman. So when he says, okay, this is what I want my deck, and I see, okay, well, he's wanting 12 foot long because that's where he can go in between his wood stack and his barbecue grill or whatever. And that's as far as he can go. That's as far as the park will go. Once I see that this is what he's going to have built, then he's going to say, roughly what's it going to cost me to have this built? And I'm going to say, it depends on how you want it built. Now, if all you want is a deck on the ground and a small set of steps going up to your camper, then it's going to be, and since I know now I'm going to build a railing on one side, which I'll build it out of 2x4, might router the top of it really nice, which doesn't cost anything, or may not. They may not want that. They may want the 2x4 standing up. They may want it to lay flat. It all depends. But if I'm going to build it, I'm going to lay it flat, and I'm going to do it this way. I'm looking at the most 2x4s. That can come out of the oops money. If I have to end up buying another box of 3-inch screws, which I won't because I have plenty, that can come out of the oops money. That's why you do this. Because you don't know. So roughly I know, okay, to get you a deck either off the ground a little bit to where we don't have to build, maybe the park doesn't allow rails. Let's just don't worry about the rails. There's going to be people out there that's going to say, well, you got to build rails and they got to be... Every place is different. You don't live here. You don't work here. So don't try to tell me how to do my business. I don't mean that to sound hateful. I'm just saying. So I'll give him his options and I'll tell him it's going to be roughly $1,000 plus tax. I have to pay tax, so I charge them tax. I have to pay tax on everything. So here we have $1,000 plus tax, and this is what it's going to get him. Now, if he says, I want to add rails, and I don't want to go, or the code here says I have to go, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. Most of these parks, since this is something that's going to move with him when he moves his trailer, or his camper rather, you can fudge with everything that has to be done. Especially if it sets down on the ground, you don't even have to have rails. And, I stick within the codes You don't want a child's head to fit through the gap, and there's a lot of things. It just everything all depends. But we have a starting point. $1,000 plus tax will get you this built. I'm going to have roughly $500 of material. I'm going to roughly make $500 in a day. To me, that's good pay. I do this every day, then I'm going to make an extra $2,500 a week. Now I'm probably not going to do this the next day. I'm probably going to seal the top of a mobile home. Well, that's also $500 plus tax. So, at $500 a day for a small business owner is what I push for. Because this keeps me, I know it won't take me a full 8 hours to do this. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to knock this out in 4 hours. And so I made $500 for a half a day's work. But now normally, if you're just getting started into this, like I've been doing this 20 or 30 years, and probably more than that. Well, actually, I know way more than that. But I do things quickly. I don't take breaks. I don't have helpers because I know exactly what I want to do. I have everything pre-set up. I cut, screw, nail, whatever I need to do. And I get out of there and I come home and I sit in the air conditioning. Or I go on to do the next job. And the next day I just take the whole day off. My goal and what I strive for during the summertime is $500 a job, or I might do 2 small jobs for $250 a piece, or I might do 5 small jobs in one day at $100 a piece. This is just my goals, and what I do all summer long is I bank half of it. I live on half and I bank half. So basically, and now we're probably into this almost an hour, and I didn't want to make that long of videos. But you figure $2,500 a week, and you figure half of that is $1,250. Okay, now that's per week. This is what I strive for. This is what I hope for each week. So now I take that $1,250 and I put this. I put $250 over the week toward bills, which is $1,000 a month, which we've already gone through. Go back and watch my old videos, how much it costs me to live here, which is cheap. I sound like a bird. That gives me $1,000 to do with what I want to. But that also puts $1,250 back to live my first week into the wintertime when my business slacks off. So that's how I do it. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I make $2,500 every week, because I don't. Some weeks I do a whole lot better than that. Some weeks I do a whole lot worse than that. But this is what I strive for. In my peak season, this is what I try to do. And I try to bank. It may sound like great money, but I have to bank half of it for 6 months to go through the 6 months of slow time. Because you figure from end of October, so November, December, January, February, March. Some start coming back up in March, so 4.5 good solid months of slack work. Do some frozen water lines and some inside jobs that I line up and stuff of that nature. And this is just what I strive for. So anyways, that's the way that I do my estimates. I don't try to charge 3 times material. I don't try to go on there and say, I need $100 oops, or I need $200 in case I screw up, or you just don't screw up. I mean, everybody does. That's why I just round up to the highest number. Now, this one did end up being almost $50, $45. But, just them handrails. You can't figure out just 2 2x4s. You also got to figure out your labor. That's what they're paying for, is that labor. So, handrails, I think I can go back through some of mine. I think the last set of handrails that I built, I think it was $125, $130. This is just the way that I do it. And even though it's taken us an hour, normally when I do this is a 15-minute job. I now have a number in my head that I can tell him, because he might just say, oh, wow. I get this a lot because a lot of the older people come up here. And they don't realize that the prices of what lumber and stuff is anymore. And you tell them, okay, $1,000, and they're going to say, oh, wow, I didn't think it'd be over $200. When you can't even touch material for that. They just don't know. And by then he's done. So instead of me hard writing up an estimate for him and wasting that time and that money, on my estimate forms and everything, this way I can just tell him it's going to be roughly $1,000 plus tax, depending on what you want. And he's going to say, oh, wow, that's great. That's a whole lot cheaper than what I thought. And then you go into what that includes. And he's going to say, oh, okay, well, I really want rails around it. Okay, now, am I going to sit there in front of him and figure that out? No. What I'm going to do then is tell him, well, it's roughly about $1,000 for this. Let me figure out what rails and everything will cost. Whatever else he wants, he might want it pre-stained. He might want it painted. He might want it cleared with Thompson Water Seal and sand put on it for non-slip. Whatever the case may be. And then I'll come back home and I'll figure that up, and then I'll call him and say, okay, Mr. Pepsi can man or Pepsi bottle man, to get you the deck the way that you want it, this is what it's going to cost plus tax. And he's either going to say yes or no. I get more yeses by far than I do no's, because I don't try to rape everybody on the price. Now, I know people are going to sit there and say, you don't try to rape them, but yet you're making $500 in a 4-hour time. I am a business owner. I do have some overhead. I keep mine as low as possible. But, I have a 20 by 40 storage building that I had to have built. And, there's cost in it. I am a business. Some people out there are saying, wow, that's cheap. This is what it is in my area. This is how I make a living. This is how I don't have to punch a time clock. I get to do everything that I want to do. If I need to go to my son's football game, I can go. I'm self-employed. And I love what I do. And I'm really looking, this is going to be my first full deck of the summer. And I've been waiting and waiting. I love to build decks. I'm proficient at it, I guess is the word. Proficient, whatever. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know how to set it up to where it goes easy for me. And boom, 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 boom. I've enjoyed it. It's instant. Within 4 hours, I'm going to be able to say, wow, look what I built. And that's what I love. Anyways, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to show you how I do this. I do highly, highly, highly recommend Lowe's.com. Well, it's not Lowe's.com. I don't know what it is. I went to my Play Store and downloaded the Lowe's app. You can get Menards. You can get Home Depot. We don't have any of those close to us. So I do have, I think somewhere I have Menards. I don't know where it's at. But somewhere I have Menards. And because we do have a Menards within about 30 miles. Home Depot, I don't even know where there's one at around here. So, but I mean, that right there, let's just say, real quick, normally it'll show up like that, nothing's already been looked at. You just pop it open and, oh, how much are 2x4x8s this week? 2x4x8. Last time I looked, they were $377. And they have gone down. Look at this. The actual size is an 8-footer. That's $292 per. Now, I just bought them last week or week before. I'm sorry, no. I did buy 10-footers. I'm sorry. I lied. So anyways, I know that last year, well, even this year, they were over $3 a piece. So now you can get the top choice for a little bit higher. But standard wall stud, $292. But instantly, I mean, let's just say you're looking for concrete mixer. Told you I know how to spell concrete. I just, for some reason, last time I wanted to put corncrete. So you're looking at a little Cobalt one, 4 cubic foot for $299. I was actually thinking about the paddle mixers. And, so you got all these options. I mean, use this to your advantage when you're doing estimates. That way you can keep up what the current price is. Same way with Walmart or anything like that. All right, this is General Vlog Video. I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but if you can, peace. The General Vlog Videos. Please like, subscribe. It really helps us. Comment down below. Click that bell notification down below. I don't know if my hand's in the right spot or not. That way you'll see our next video, and I promise it won't be this long and won't be this boring. I just really wanted to knock this one out. And we got to see a little bit of tornado scare. And anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and a better tomorrow and a great night, since it is actually 12:30. And this video ended up being almost an hour long. My God. I should divide this into 4 videos, but I won't. So it is what it is. If you guys are down at this end, okay, this time our keyword is going to be peace. See the double peace sign? If you guys have made it down this far, just say, hey, I watched it all, peace, because I personally want to thank you. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you on the next video.